Welcome to the Near Memo, a weekly conversation about search, social, and commerce. What happened, why it matters, and the implications for local.
So moving on now to David, an item that is sort of at a high level similar in terms of the legal concepts involved that you observed from the Morning Brew newsletter, having to do with contextual targeting and the objections of some publishers to what's going on.
It's a bit of a strange segue, but I did find the item interesting.
No, it's not. It's perfectly logical and rational.
This was a confusing article from Morning Brew to me, not because it was poorly written, but because I didn't necessarily understand the objection that these publishers, so that the story goes that these publishers are up in arms that contextual ad targeting networks are inappropriately scraping their content and allowing for ad targeting options that are outside the bounds of their agreements with some of these platforms. And for the reason it caught my attention was primarily that it really does signal the awareness now on both the buyer side as well as the publisher side that we are moving into a post-cookie world where contextual ads are probably going to be the most effective form of display advertising moving forward. And the publishers being up in arms probably reflects the fact that they want a bigger seat at the table, or a more prominent seat at the table, or more seats at the table to determine this new future. But in this specific case, I didn't really understand the grounds for their objection, given that they can always just opt out of working with these demand-side platforms that are serving the ads on their properties. The objection was that, they're trying to do deals with brands directly, and that these guys are undercutting them by allowing for additional audience targeting based on their content. And so it was a somewhat confusing article to me to understand the grounds for protest, but I think another signal in a range of many signals. We talked about Google's topics model probably about a month ago on this podcast, just to show the importance of context moving forward as the best remaining sort of ad targeting option in a post-cookie world.
Well, I can support the statement that you made that a lot of publishers are hoping that they can establish direct relationships with advertisers again. I mean, that has to be the level of sufficient scale. But I think they see the demise of cookies as an opportunity to go back to the way it was originally, where they sold ads directly to particular advertisers. And so the persistence of any of these networks as middlemen, disintermediating them is something that they don't like.
Right, and I think that the sites with large enough scale. I mean, I think McClatchy was mentioned as one of the sites, local media consortium, as well as groups representing BBC, McClatchy, and others. I mean, I do think that when you get to that level, or Gannett, my former employer. When you get to that level, there probably is enough scale there if you're talking about millions of eyeballs a week across a wide range of topics to do deals directly. So I think that there's probably going to be a middle ground sort of marketplace concept that may not be as favorable to the tech platforms as it is to the publishers.
Yeah. Okay, and speaking of, yes.
All right.
My dog is making her presence known again.
In full agreement.
Yes.
Thanks for joining David, Mike, and Greg. To stay on top of the latest developments in local, subscribe to our newsletter at nearmedia.co. We'll see you next week.